morning, where free agent center Boban Marjanovic has agreed to 1-year contract extension to return to the Houston Rockets. Mike Lightman and Jeff Schwartz told Newsman. Marjanovic, one of the most popular teammates and marketable players in the league, is beginning his 9th season in the NBA and stays with Rockets organization that appreciated his presence on and off the court. Moving away from that, let's go straight and talk football this morning. Remember, it was more of goals coming for Super Eagles of Nigeria. Victor Osimhen, who scored 4 against Sao Tome and Principe in the first leg, notched up a hat-trick. And, guess what? 2 MVPs were picked yesterday after the game in Uyo.
News, sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
All right, let's talk about Super Eagles of Nigeria. 10 minutes after 8, what we call it 8:10 live from Solutions 939 FM. And in case you're just tuning in, this is Kickoff Sports Show, the first half of AM Update live on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 939 FM. Let's talk continental football, but started from the home scene where Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen was named the most valuable player, while Ademola Lookman won the man of the match in the team's 6-0 bashing of Sao Tome and Principe in Sunday's 2023 last AFCON qualifier clash. Osimhen scored a hat-trick in the game and the Super Eagles dominated from start to finish. For the goals from Italy-based Ademola Lookman, Taiwo Awoniyi and Samuel Chukwueze was enough to get the team to convincing victory against Sao Tome and Principe. With the victory, Super Eagles finished top in Group A with 15 points, scoring an astonishing 22 goals in the process. Well, now talking about Joseph Peserio on the show this morning, he has praised the players for their remarkable attitude at the win against Sao Tome and Principe. Well, we also knew that, for Joseph Peserio, he got this contract extended by, agreeing to cut his pay. Well, Nigeria Sports Minister and Development, Senator John Eno, has thumped up Nigeria's senior men's national team to Super Eagles over their victory over Sao Tome and Principe at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. Speaking on the outcome of the encounter, Eno congratulated the team for rewarding the Super Eagles of Nigeria with a good performance while charging the team to bring home the AFCON title next year in Ivory Coast. But can that be possible with the performance of the Super Eagles you saw yesterday? Can this team go all the way and upstage other teams and pick up that trophy?
Africa, oh yeah, Africa, oh man, oh yeah, but Africa, 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 Africa. My Africa, my Africa, Africa. No matter the wave, I will always ride for ya. I'll be here to save you, your Superman fly for ya. Because you are one of a kind. I'll always have you on my mind. Near or far, the others must be blind to not see how special you are. You are Africa. You are Africa. We are Africa. You are Africa. Yeah.
Welcome back. Check the time right now. It is 8:13 from Solutions 939 FM. Africa. Let's continue to talk about African football. Well, after Nigeria defeated Sao Tome and Principe, the coach of this, that is the forward of the team, Ricardo Cardoso, says the true Patriots gave their best against Super Eagles in Sunday's AFCON qualifier. For Adriano Eusebio's side went down 0-6 against the Super Eagles of Nigeria after conceding 10 in the first leg, meaning they conceded 16 goals against Super Eagles of Nigeria in 2 legs. Well, remember, other matches were also decided yesterday on the continent. And remember, Togo defeated Cape Verde 3-2. Gambia, Congo played out a 2-0 draw. And looking at games going down today on the continent, well, for Guinea-Bissau, they'll be up against the Sierra Leone. That's what it looks like. Talking about games going down in Africa. Well, we'll also have games in Europe. But moving away from Africa this morning, let's talk about Hansi Flick. This man, will not be waking up on the good side because he got fired after Germany lost 4-1 to Japan, which also dipping gloom around the squad ahead of hosting next year's European Championship. The DFB said director Rudi Voller would be one of the 3 coaches taking joint charge of the next game, a friendly against France tomorrow in Dortmund. Germany have not won any of the past 5 games and were eliminated in the group stage of last year's World Cup. Flick said after the loss to Japan that he wanted to remain as coach and insisted he was the right person for the job. Sunday's announcement came hours after he led the team in a public training session attended by fans. So, being a club manager is far different from being a national team manager. Let's go on the break, and when we return, we look at all the teams, same as results coming from other side, same as fixtures of games going down that went down over the weekend and matches going down today.
Omo, our eye don't see way for this cash palava. As conductor they shout.
As you enter, so enter with your change.
Market women go dey holla.
I beg, this somebody don't say, I no fit collect now.
Supermarket people go dey tell you say,
okay, we don't get change. I beg, use and take sweet now.
when you come see that better yama roasted fish without the hungry you since in come.
I no carry my wallet come out too.
See, life not supposed hard like this, so now make all of us for Nigeria they pay for everything with Momo. Dial *671# or download the new Momo app. Make you follow enjoy this better life. Momo, better than cash.
Hey, my name is Alex. I've been a content creator for a while now, and I always try to innovate to keep my audience entertained and engaged. When 5G came into Nigeria, I thought it was all noise, like the normal hype, gang, and all that noise. But boy, was I wrong. Because I've hosted virtual concerts, partied with my followers in the metaverse, created skits with creators in other countries without ever having to leave my room. I can shoot a movie without being on set. Hey, now that's a godsend. With all the money I've spent on cabs this year. If there's one thing 5G has done right, I would say it's made it easier for me to do me.
Change the game with MTN 5G. It offers hyper-fast internet speed, seamless buffering, and applications that can only be possible via its quality data capabilities. Available on broadband and mobile. MTN, Nigeria's #1 5G network. What are we doing today?
Dynamic Pillars Montessori International Schools, Ibadan. The latest admirable, attractive, and acceptable Montessori schools in Ibadan City with global standard of teaching, unique learning aids, and world-class academic facilities in a serene environment. Wow! Few students in a class with all conveniences, parent and guidance. Dynamic Pillars is the best place where your dearest child can have the best educational legacy. The school has the best set of professional teachers with brilliant and effective educational activities such as Montessori skills, math helping game clinic for vocabulary development, arts, crafts and design, diction and communication, French, music and game language mechanics, indoor and outdoor games, and lots more. Available classes are crèche, daycare, preschool, after school, primary and secondary school classes from JSS1. Entrance examination on request. Enroll your child now at Dynamic Pillars Montessori International Schools, New Garage Bus Stop, Akpata, or First Gate, Owode Estate, Akpata, Ibadan. Telephone 080-2342-1126. Dynamic Pillars Schools. Your child deserves the best.
Check us out right now. It is 8 to 18 from Solutions 939 FM. Let's move straight to South America this morning, where Lionel Messi will travel with Argentina squad to Bolivia for a South America World Cup qualifier tomorrow. But his presence on the field remains uncertain. Argentina coach Lionel Scaloni said he hopes to make a decision today over whether to play the Inter Miami star. The world champions started their qualifying campaign with a 1-0 victory against Ecuador thanks to Lionel Messi's spectacular goal towards the end of the match, where the 36-year-old Argentina captain scored with a free kick. Okay, now let's talk about under fire Wales boss Robert Page. Just said he is determined to see out the 3 remaining years of his contract. Page signed a 4-year deal exactly 12 months ago as well. Prepared to make their first appearance at World Cup for 64 years. But their fortunes have pummeled since the Page faces a potential make or break Euro 2024 qualifier today in Latvia. Wales must beat bottom side Latvia, who are yet to register a point in Group D to keep alive hopes of top 2 place and automatic qualification for next summer's final in Germany. Now let's look at games going down today. In Group D, Armenia will take on Croatia. The game is going down 5 o'clock Nigerian time. 7:45 is the clash between Latvia and Wales. In Group J, Iceland will take on Bosnia-Herzegovina, and that game will go down 7:45. Same time, Portugal is taking on Luxembourg, as Slovakia is also battling Liechtenstein. Same time. That is what it looks like from that end. Talking about games going down across Europe. However, we have games going down, talking about friendly games, but looking at CONCACAF in Group 1. Martinique defeated Curacao 1-0 as Guatemala and Panama played a 1-0 draw. Trinidad and Tobago defeated El Salvador and the CONCACAF Nations League 3-2. And looking at more games, a lot of other games are also going down. But moving away from that, let us look at what is happening on the other side, that is off pitch. Really is more about one man who has decided to step down after the planting of a kiss. Well, Luis Rubiales has resigned as Spain's FA president following the controversy over him kissing player Jenny Hermoso. Rubiales kissed the midfielder on the lips during the trophy presentation following Spain's victory over England in last month's FIFA Women's World Cup. But Hermoso said the kiss was not consensual. Well, Rubiales had remained defiant despite a public outcry claiming the kiss was mutual and was adamant he would not quit his role. But remember, FIFA suspended Rubiales pending an investigation into his behavior, and Hermoso submitted a complaint to the National Prosecutor's Office on Wednesday, which is now with Spain's High Court. Well, maybe this man just wants everything to just die down and move on. Well, and we just have to just, move on. This is dedicated to Luis Rubiales. Put the blame on me.
So I want to take this time out to apologize for things that I've done and things that haven't occurred yet and things that they don't want to take responsibility for. I'm sorry for the times that I left you home. I was on the road and you were alone. I'm sorry for the times that I had to go. I'm sorry for the fact that I did not know that you were sitting home just wishing we could go back to when it was just you and me. I'm sorry for the times I would neglect. I'm sorry for the times I disrespect. I'm sorry for the wrong things that I've done. I'm sorry I'm not always there for my sons. I'm sorry for the fact that I'm not aware that you can't sleep at night when I am not there, because I'm in the streets like every day. I'm sorry for the things that I did not say, like how you are the best thing in my world and how I'm so proud to call you my girl. I understand that there's some problems and I'm not too blind to know all the pain you kept inside you, even though you might not show. If I can apologize for being wrong, then it's just a shame on me. I'll be the reason for your pain, and you can put the blame on me. Said you could put the blame on me.
Okay, Akon put the blame, put the blame on me, coming from, sorry, blame it on me, I beg your pardon, from Akon. Now, there's another man who may be singing this song very soon. I'm not trying to, speak ahead of what may happen to Manchester United's Anthony. Now, Anthony will delay returning to Manchester United training following the international break amid allegations of assault. Reports understand Anthony has been placed on a leave of absence on full pay. Not suspended, Manchester United will continue to review the situation as it develops. The winger was dropped by Brazil earlier last week following the initial allegations made by former girlfriend Gabriela Cavalin and later appeared on Brazilian TV to deny the allegations. Rice Di Frientaz claims that she required hospital treatment after being assaulted by Anthony and a woman in May 2022. Okay, now let's just keep it that way. Let's talk about Mo Salah and what is also coming from the Saudi Pro League. 8:25 is the time. What may be happening in the January transfer window after the summer transfer window ended in England on September 1? Well, Al Ittihad failed in a late approach for Mo Salah, but Al Khalij winger Fabio Martins believes the Egyptian will be in the Saudi Pro League soon enough. Liverpool turned down a bid reportedly worth up to £150 million for Salah, who jogging club was determined not to lose late in the transfer window. And it has been speculated that Al Ittihad, who signed Karim Benzema, Fabio Jota, Luis Felipe and N'Golo Kante will return with another bid for Salah in the coming 12 months. Well, Salah is an icon of the Arab world, and Martins hopes to soon go up against the 31-year-old. Now let's look at what is also happening between Liverpool and Manchester City. Liverpool and Manchester City are both monitoring West Ham defender Naif Agard ahead of next summer. And while fans have slammed incompetent Manchester United for being unable to sell Rasmus Højlund's shirt for over a month, that's because the Red Devils struggled to get a special Danish letter in stock. Now, let's talk about a man who once managed Manchester United. Who once played for Manchester United, later managed the Red Devils, and he has rejected a managerial offer from a Manchester United manager. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has rejected the chance to take charge of the Norway women's team. And saying Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp has been mentioned in connection with the German national team's job, but his previous comments about the post suggest he won't be at the frame after Hansi Flick's firing. I don't want to be fired on the show this morning, but let's move straight to the other side, where we look at headlines on the front pages of Nigerian newspapers, same as burning issues this morning. It is 8:27. My name is OLADAPO. Thank you so much, Adeboje, Ibrahim Alabede. Do not go anywhere, guys. Well, remember, it is Monday. Be ready to face all challenges. At the end of the day, you may become a GOAT, not a GOAT that eats the leaf, but a greatest of all time. Bring it on.
Bring it on, bring it on. You, bring it on. Life know the sweet though, hey. If some people know they hate you, so use the number 6 so and calculate. You go see the ratio. The beef self na me yo, whether na asu them relate to. So bring your own crayfish, oh, we go mix, oh, Lord. Shane and them toxic, we no go blow. Share them to see us now, we don't at me now. Take a look at me now. We're running things in this town. Can't you see?
I don't care who you are, where you're from, or what you do. Just as long as you're chasing money, do what's right, never give up on it. Bring it on, bring it on.
Are you ready? Ready?
No matter how you try, don't you ever fall. Keep your head up high and standing tall. Bring it on, bring it on.
Are you ready? Ready?
No matter how you try, don't you ever fall. Keep your head up high and standing tall.
And rising, rising, rising. Keep it high, rising, rising.
Bring it on.
This life is not easy. So much hustling and puzzling. Everyone is struggling. So make you know they believe, say. Since everyone is chasing, you're never gonna make it. Never say no, never give up. Keep your head up, standing tall. And for sure, you go turn it up, turn down for what? Hey, Shane and them talk say, we no go blow. Share them to see us now, we don't they glow. Take a look at me now, take a look at me now. We're running things in this town. Can't you see?
I don't care who you are, where you're from, or what you do. Just as long as you're chasing money, do what's right, never give up on it. Bring it on, bring it on.
Are you ready? Ready?
No matter how you try, don't you ever fall. Keep your head up high and standing tall. Bring it on, bring it on.
Are you ready?
No matter how you try, don't you ever fall. Keep your head up high and standing tall.
And rising, rising, rising. Keep it high, rising, rising.
I don't care who you are, where you're from, or what you do. Just as long as you're chasing money, do what's right, never give up on it. Bring it on, bring it on.
Are you ready? Ready?
No matter how you try, don't you ever fall. Keep your head up high and standing tall. Bring it on, bring it on.
Are you ready? Ready?
No matter how you try, don't you ever fall. Keep your head up high and standing tall.
And rising, rising, rising. Keep it high, rising, rising.
Bring it on.
We raise the spotlight on the different headlines of our national dailies.
This government, apart from giving that minimum wage of 30,000, which was a 6% rise.
We bring to you in-depth analysis on the major stories making the rounds.
And the CSOs to INEC account for 400 billion naira spent on general elections.
Interviews with political and government stakeholders.
There was a big push on export. We consume a lot. We need to be an economy, an export engine, and we need to be a production.
Every weekday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the Remedy Dial, Solutions 93.9 FM. Welcome to From the Dailies with Favor, Dapo, Laffy, and Victory. Let's talk about the state of the nation. Your voice matters.
Ẹ káàárọ̀ nílùú Ìbàdàn. Solutions 93.9 FM.
News, sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
All right, it's 8:34 on Solutions 93.9 FM. With great pleasure, I welcome you to the From the Daily segment on AM Update. This is a segment where we get to take you through some stories in today's national dailies. My name is Adedamola LAFENWA. Today is September 11, 2023, and every 11th of September like this reminds me of that 9/11 attack. Okay, so when I woke up this morning, I saw the date. I was like, oh, okay, just like yesterday. So 9/11. Okay, we are set to take you through some of the stories in today's national dailies, like I said earlier on, and we'll be doing justice to that in a jiffy. Stay tuned to Solutions 93.9 FM.
My name is OLADAPO Kunubi. Good morning, Nigerians. And we're already getting different reaction concerning, it's just not just one, not just two, but remember, ahead of the Court of Appeal, after the tribunal's verdict, one man is speaking ahead of that, saying that it doesn't see anything coming out of that. But do we say that that man is preempting the Court of Justice? We look at that this morning, same as other headlines. I have made a Nation and the Punch newspapers here.
I've got the Nigerian Tribune and the Vanguard newspapers with me this morning, and talking about the reactions or maybe the speculations of some people as regards the Supreme Court, the likely Supreme Court judgment as regards the presidential election tribunal verdict. I have this one coming from the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, and it says, presidential election, don't bend the law. Catholic bishops tell Supreme Court. Say politicians using palliatives distribution to enrich themselves. The story is found on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune this Monday morning. 24 dead, many missing in Niger boat accident. That story is found on page 27 of the Nigerian Tribune. Death toll in Morocco earthquake reaches over 2,000. That story is found on page 25. Moving away from that, I have this one saying agents kick as maritime police detain 1,800 containers at Lagos port. And there is a rider under that caption. The rider is saying detention threatening post operations. Okay, moving away from that, 36 states get 1.51 trillion naira FAAC allocation in 6 months. NATI report. And this one, Northeast governors raise concern over influx of bandits. One traditional rulers against against a betting criminal. I'm trying to say aiding. Okay, I can see that now. Against aiding abetting criminals. And this one saying 400,000 healthcare workforce not enough for Nigeria party. And there is this not so good story coming from Ogun State, talking about the Ogun State government and the former governor of Ogun State, that is Otumba Gbenga Daniel, about one of his properties being destroyed by the government of Ogun State. And the story says destruction of 5-story building. Ogun government, Daniel's firm trade words. There are so many.
I have a reservation about that. And when something is destroyed or demolished, we look at the word.
Okay.
Has there been a warning?
Yeah.
There should have, before any building is to be destroyed or demolished. Let's say demolished as a
Definitely.
word. Demolished, there would have been a warning, either stop work or how many months, how many days, should be put in place to make, occupants of that building to evacuate.
Okay, now let me read out the riders under that caption to answer that question you raised. The riders, we have this one saying, it's an illegal structure, contravenes physical planning law. Notice served in May 2022. Government. Another rider says, it's executive recklessness. Datkem Plaza paid Ogun government 500,000 naira mandatory fee on August 2. Daniel's lawyers. And the last rider says, adds Ogun government ignored court papers served it last week. These are the three riders under that caption.
So we have the two parties, you know, giving us their own sides of the story. But the deed has been done.
It's been done. And the picture of the building is found on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
Are you done with
destroyed.
it? Okay, so partly destroyed.
Partly destroyed.
Partly demolished, partly destroyed. It's just because the way I'm hearing it destroyed is like, just go.
You can look at the picture now.
Yeah.
See the picture.
And part of the things I also noticed, like there's a banking hall in that building.
Yeah.
We have different organizations in that building, and even notice has been served. There should have been a sitting around a table discussion between the ex governor's team and sitting governor. Although some already attaching the whole Dakwa Abiodun's issue that happened, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Himself and the local government chairman.
Well, it's believed it has a political undertone.
But we just, let's keep monitoring the situation in Ogun State. But let's move on this morning and look at the Punch newspaper. Okay, going straight to the Punch newspaper this morning. The cap headlines here. Banks' bad loans hit 478 billion naira amid economic downturn. States get 1.51 trillion naira FAAC allocation in 6 months. 80. FG foreign airlines meet as flight disruptions worsen. The banner headline this morning says, National Assembly polls tribunals to decide 400 cases and sittings. And 3 riders to this headline. The first rider says, 7 Delta reps, others to no fate this week. Tribunals sack Kanu NNPP lawmaker, Imo PDP rep. And a third rider says, Plateau governor gets verdict today as tribunals decide poll petitions in more states. And we can see the front page picture from Morocco. Remember on Friday there was this
earthquake,
a sad earthquake in that country, and they've been getting a lot of humanitarian aid coming from different countries, most especially Algeria, that shut their air border, had to open. They had issues, and that air border has been shut for over 2 years. They had to open and allow humanitarian organizations to come in to help. Even Spain, that is closer to Morocco. And let us look at the headlines of that. But the front page picture is so saddened. And this one says Morocco earthquake victims rise to 2,122, because as at Sunday morning it was 2,000. Children worst hit. I know United Nations will not want to hear this, UNESCO will not want to hear this. But let's look at other headlines coming from the Punch newspaper. Ogun, ex-governor Daniel's wife clash over plaza demolition. NDLEA seizes 399 explosives, illicit drugs. Grandma, others arrested. 24 dead, 30 rescued in Niger boat accident. This and more you can find from the Punch newspaper this morning.
Okay, moving to the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Anguish, chaos, gridlock over relocation of airlines. Page 27. 26 die in Niger boat mishaps. Several others missing. That story is found on page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And to the banner headline, fresh inflation fears as top firms lose 656 billion naira to forex woes. And riders under that caption, we have this one: losses in leading quoted companies rise 709% to 656 billion naira. All sectors losses in excess of 3 trillion naira. They will transfer losses to consumers, analysts. And the last one says, this may stoke a next round of inflation. Okay, moving away from that. Fee, varsities in desperate situation, difficult to retain old rates. Unilag. That story is found on page 9. You know, sometime last week we talked about students of the University of Lagos protesting the hike in their school fees, and this is a reaction coming from the VC of that institution, saying universities in desperate situation, difficult to retain old rates. PEPT, that's Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, must explain Tinubu's imprint on judgment. Labour Party. The story is found on page 8. United Nigeria Airlines gets approval for direct flights to USA, Europe, Middle East. The story is found on page 9. And talking about the Morocco earthquake, Morocco quake, rescuers comb rubble for survivors as death toll hits 2,122. The story is found on page 8. And still on PEPT, that's the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal verdict. Fate of Nigeria hangs in balance. Catholic bishops. The story is found on page 5. These and many more stories will be found on the pages of the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
Okay, going straight to the Nation newspaper. The newspaper with green and white color, also still having a red and yellow, including black. But let me start with the headlines with black color this morning. And from the COP, it says President fair to Igbo with appointments, says Soludo. And I know in some papers with Soludo saying that he's happy despite, that giving Mr. President kudos despite the Igbos not voting him. Giving them juicy positions.
Yeah.
Is it about juicy positions or those who are ready to get Nigeria to the promised land? But, everything about politics. Let's move on. Looking at the next headline. Accusations of banks. CBN Deputy Governor quizzed. Next set of headlines here. United Nigeria 6 slots into London, Dubai, other routes. Ogun government, Daniel's wife, clash over vandalized plaza. And looking at this headline, British worship in London, in Lagos. British worship in Lagos. Federal roads collapse across states. Right after this headline, VP directs urgent action on Jalingo Yola Road. Governors seek Umai's quick intervention. And the red and yellow headline coming from the Nation newspaper this morning. U.S. scientists develop artificial kidney. I know. Our Yoruba people will say, hey, Odishi. Okay.
Artificial kidney.
Artificial kidney. We are still dealing with artificial intelligence, AI, right? And now we have artificial kidney. Okay, you want to read more, get a copy of the Nation newspaper, but let's move on this morning. Wheat production gets $163 million boost. And the banner headline coming from the Nation newspaper this morning says, Tinubu strikes multiple deals with Germany, Korea, India. And this headline has 3 riders. The first rider says, world leaders pledge more interest in agriculture, fintech, education, defense. The next rider says, German Chancellor for Nigeria next month. And the third rider says, President in UAE to resolve bilateral disagreement. Well, Tinubu is walking, Nigeria is moving. I don't want to. I know that is coming for. That is open to argument. Is Nigeria working, or we say Tinubu is traveling, and painting, giving Nigeria a good color?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So let's put it that way. All right. My bad. Let's look at the next headline here. Morocco earthquake death toll passes 2,000. Drone attack kills 40 in Khartoum. And looking at the front page picture, we have a Vice President Kashim Shettima, right? With other dignitaries there. And this one says, 26 die in Niger boat accident. Let me take this last headline and let me readjust. maybe the reason I'm putting a touch of green tie this morning, and it says, Eagles wallop Sao Tome 6-0. You should tell me to retake that headline.
Take it again.
Thank you.
If you want to. Because I never
Did you watch the game?
I watched the game, but I never saw Sao Tome as a strong opponent. So
what if Nigeria had lost to Sao Tome? What would you have said this morning?
Well, I would have in football you expect the unexpected. That is it. That's my own opinion in football. So when I saw Sao Tome, I was like, when the goal got to 4-0, 5-0, I was like, okay, it's no big deal. It's just like you know what I'm saying now. If you had played with a Ghanaian team
or Egypt or Algeria,
or maybe those better football nations, then I would have been okay. I would have said okay, fine.
So what can Nigerians do, or what can Super Eagles do that will make you people happy? Is it until when we lose?
Wait, it's not that I'm not happy, but I didn't. I saw it coming. It was something I expected.
Because we won the first leg 10-0.
Now you're talking.
No. I'm just trying to give you a clue to what your argument is all about.
That's what I'm saying.
But first, let us also look at the fact that people turned out en masse to come and watch that game in Uyo. One, Victor Osimhen, who continues scoring, he scored 4 goals against Sao Tome Principe in the first leg, notched up a hat-trick. Ademola Lookman with a good performance. Taiwo Awoniyi with his scoring form, with his his club side, coming home and scoring for Nigeria. That is another thing, and Samuel Chukwueze as well. What we need to look at here is for these players to bring in that A game into the national team. Because people always say that, yes, Victor Osimhen, when he plays for Napoli, that is the time you see his best. But when it comes to the, when he plays for Napoli, but when he gets to the national team,
but can I ask you a question?
But let's give them the kudos.
Wait, how do you rate the performance of Sao Tome and Principe players?
Well, I will also say that at some point, they stopped some of our players from using the wings. However, they also need to learn. The same Nigeria that lost some years ago against Brazil is not the same Nigeria that played against Argentina at the World Cup. Yes, we don't just lose like that, but you have to also show that you are playing against 3-time African champions. But what I'm looking at is they considered 10 in the first leg and considered 6 in the second.
Now you're talking. Now you see why I said I wasn't surprised.
Tried.
I mean, to have considered 10 in a match.
The 10 in a match. They considered 10 on their home soil.
On their home soil. You considered 10 in your home soil.
And they came to Nigeria, they considered 6. You don't know what they've improved. They have improved. Okay, let's go straight to the burning issue this morning, and it is still more of the aftermath of the presidential election petition tribunal. And a senior advocate of Nigeria, SAN Robert Clark, says nothing may come out of appeal of Wednesday's judgment of the presidential election petitions court by the petitioners who have vowed to approach the Supreme Court.
Well, my personal view, and I believe my personal view has been enriched with my past experience in the dispensation of justice at the bar. I have every belief, and I seriously believe, that the unanimous judgment of the Court of Appeal is unassailable. It is as fixed as you can fix anything, and I can assure you that if there is an appeal, I doubt whether anything can come out of the appeal.
Well, Robert Clark speaking there last night, talking about his expectation. But here, I feel maybe Robert Clark is jumping the gun, but is an SAN. Yeah. He knows better.
He knows better, yes.
And is that not like pouring cold water in the heart of
Nigerians?
Not only Nigerians, even the opposition candidates, the likes of Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar?
Well, like you said, I like the fact that he kept on mentioning in his own opinion. He's actually entitled to his opinion, actually. And being a senior advocate of Nigeria, saying that, because if you look at the history of Supreme Court judgments as related to some of this elections held in recent times, I mean, like we were talking about the football thing, you can always expect the unexpected. Like I was mentioning the fact that, Ademola Adeleke, the sitting governor of Osun State, he lost at the tribunal.
In Osun State?
In Osun State. He lost at the election, the petition tribunal. But at the Supreme Court, he won. So we've had cases of people winning at the tribunal and losing out at the Supreme Court. And we even have it vice versa. So it's really something that we can't really predict the judgment that might come out from the Supreme Court. But I think, I don't want to go deep into that. Maybe when we get in touch with our analyst on the program today, because he gave me a kind of analysis sometime off the mic, and probably we'll want to talk about it again today when we eventually reach out to him. But I think Robert Clark is actually entitled to his own opinion.
Okay, because remember last week after the judgment, it was Abubakar Atiku who had his first, world press conference at the PDP secretariat in Abuja, and after that, Peter Obi had his. It was a public address, but we didn't have there was no crowd there. But what I'm looking at here is some already saying that maybe the the justice system. For some people already jumping the gun, even before the Presidential Election Tribunal court, gave the judgment. One, legal practitioner was already, being attacked because of her statement, right? But let's move on from that and go straight to the expectations, because if you look at some of the judgments we've been getting for the past few days, some shocking ones, and for the governor of Akwa Ibom. That is Uno. Is it Eno? Yeah, Eno will also be having his, decision as well today. And if you look at the front page banner, the banner headline from the Punch newspaper: National Assembly polls tribunals to decide 400 cases, end sittings. 7 Delta reps or others to know fate this week. Tribunals sack Kano NNPP lawmaker, Imo PDP rep. Plateau governor gets verdict today as tribunal decide poll petitions in more states, and that should be okay. The Nation newspaper, gave theirs as well. But if we look at it from so many sides, with what you said that happened in Osun State, the tribunal that sat in Osun State, and Ademola Adeleke got his own verdict, I think, away from Osun State. So, we had an interview that should be on Wednesday, with one of the stakeholders in Nigerian politics in Oyo State, saying that Nigerians should put their mind at rest. The tribunal is not the final stage. The Supreme Court, which is the highest, to take the final decision.
But now that brings to question, what is now the essence of the tribunal?
Well, tribunal is
looking at the money
spent,
the money spent, sitting, gathering evidences here and there, and everything, the time and everything. And at the end of the day, whatever judgment has been pronounced, it can still be overturned by a higher court, which is the Supreme Court.
Well, also don't let us forget what happened in Osun State many years ago that brought in Aregbesola. Remember, Aregbesola, fought for his mandate. And if you know how many years it took Aregbesola, we look at that as well. Let us also give kudos to the Nigerian judiciary system. So, I feel most of them would have looked at so many examples. And Aregbesola is not the only governor that won his case to be pronounced a governor of the state. If you look at so many, the reason we always have some elections, off season, and the likes. So let's keep our fingers crossed, and let's look at this. If a Soludo is now backing or giving Mr. President thumbs up, let's look at this. Is this about Igbo people or about Nigeria? Because if you look at the headline from the Nation newspaper this morning, President fair to Igbo with appointment, says Soludo. And if you look at, I think, Punch or the Nation, Punch, Vanguard or Tribune saying that despite not getting votes from the Igbo people, Tinubu gave the region juicy positions.
Well, I want to believe that Charles Soludo was just talking from the perspective of the fact that we all know the side, the former president, the immediate past president, General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, tilted to making most of his appointments then. So I think he was leveraging on that stand to talk about the fairness of Bola Ahmed Tinubu in his own time, at least being fair to the Igbo people. I think he's just looking at it from that angle, because it was believed that most of the juicy appointments in the last administration were always going to the north. That is just a fact.
Well, every administration has got their plans. If you look at that of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, look at people that also served under him. Did we even have enough Southwestern people? Do we have enough Yoruba people? If we wanted to be talking about region, right? And, well, if I could remember what Nyesom Wike also said concerning the loss of Peter Obi and Atiku at the election tribunal, saying that most youths wanted to vote for the candidate of the Labour Party, but not knowing that politics is not played like that in Nigeria. That is about ethnicity and the likes, which I feel we just have to, sometimes watch our statements when we are speaking, so that Nigerian youths will not lack interest in politics in Nigeria. And believe as well. Well, let us join Comrade Ayode Jadishokwe on the other side this morning, where we look at this burning issues, most especially some of the headlines we've been able to look at this morning. And looking at this headline from the Punch newspaper that says FG, foreign airlines meet as flight disruptions worsen. And you were also talking about this same particular headline. I mean, if you look at the disruptions, last week we heard so many issues, flight delay, flight cancellation, lots of people who have to, go for, meetings, and those who need to also travel on a deadline and having, so many things, affect their movement. And I don't want to also have this belief of don't let Nigeria happen to you. I've had so many, issues where some people will have interviews and the internet in the country will even frustrate them, whereby those hiring will tell you to change your location or look for a better place to run your interview. If that is happening, a lot should be put in place. Maybe we can now say that the trip of Mr. President can bring something better to Nigerians. One, look at the trip of Mr. President in India. With what Ajuri Galale said, and also sealing deals. Let's look at the Nation newspaper this morning with what a lot of Nigerians should be expecting if what we are seeing from the Nation newspaper is anything to go by. This one says, Tinubu strikes multiple deals with Germany, Korea, India. And if world leaders can pledge to be interested in Nigeria, then maybe we can say that something good is happening very soon. Maybe Nigerians can be happy towards that. And if you have foreign investors coming to the country, that can also help our transportation system, starting with the airport.
And even boost our employment opportunities too.
But now, for employment opportunity, what will be the criteria? Is it going to be a situation where you have the foreign investors, not giving Nigerians the quota system? Not using the quota system in employing. Because sometimes they just look at, they rather bring people from their country to run business and expatriate to work in Nigeria. That is another thing. If you look at the construction firms, you look at the engineering firms, who are those people you see? Who are the ones who make who give the order? Because if you look at so many things happening, who gives the order? Who are the ones taking up the strenuous responsibilities on road construction, on infrastructures, buildings, and the likes? Who are those people that will usually take those responsibilities? So we have to look at that as well. And when we are signing the deals, what should be the percentage? What is coming to Nigeria and what is going outside Nigeria? Is it more of production? If you are going to be producing, then we can say, because if you can remember, so many months back we were discussing about Nigeria being a consuming nation than a producing nation. And if you look at this, if our production is higher than consumption, that means it will have the internally generated revenue, and all this essence of saying yes, people paying at high cost, Naira will surely develop. Because yesterday I was hearing that Naira to pounds now is 1,000 plus. And if that is happening, well, let us expect Mr. President to return to the country and, give us good news. And when we come back, we'll talk about the United Arab Emirates movement of Mr. President. We know some people who were frustrated with the decision in that country. Do not go anywhere.
We raise the spotlight on the different headlines of our national dailies.
This government, apart from giving that minimum wage of 30,000, which was a 6% rise.
We bring to you in-depth analysis on the major stories making the rounds.
And the CSOs to INEC account for 400 billion naira spent on general elections.
Interviews with political and government stakeholders.
There was a big push on export. We consume a lot. We need to be an economy that an export engine, and we need to be a production.
Every weekday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the Remedy Dial, Solutions 93.9 FM. Welcome to From the Dailies with Favor.
All right, welcome back. Check your time right now. It is 9:06, and we have with us comrade Oluwamotosho all the way from Abuja this morning. And I hope I can also fly like that. Move from Ibadan to Abuja. Comrade, top of the morning to you. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to all of you in the studio.
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Now, let's just quickly look at some of the key headlines this morning. And we'll start with that of the banner headline from the Nation newspaper this morning. Tinubu strikes multiple deals with Germany, Korea, India, and another rider president in UAE to resolve bilateral disagreement. What green light are we seeing from these trips by Mr. President?
Well, good morning, Nigeria. And now, going by the current trend of things and what it holds for Nigeria, I think hope is rising. Yes, many people will want to ask, what hope is rising when, with all the hardship and the pain on the street that is confronting an average Nigerian? Yes, there is something. There is this belief or this this group of thoughts that says nothing good comes easy. And whatever, if things are going to improve, if things are going to change, then we cannot continue to to approach things the normal way it's been done from the past. There has to be a departure from the normal for you to be able to achieve a kind of an abnormal. I think hope is rising, and for one, during the electioneering campaign, a lot of people, including mine, also have this sentiment that the president, that Ashiwaju will make a difference when he gets that, simply because he's been proactive in his own life, and he is exposed, and this democratic spirit is there. And so, because he's a successful businessman, we believe that when he gets there, he will know how to bring all of those things into governance. And I think that's exactly what is happening now. And also, we now have a president that takes decisions on his own. We now have a president that does not that will not sit in his armchair in his office or in his sitting room and then wait for people to come and give him reports of what is happening. So he is there and he's using the experience that he has. And a lot of things, some of the things that we never believed will happen again in Nigeria. I mean, we are beginning to see, we are beginning to see light, we are beginning to perceive the aroma of good things coming. Yes, I just hope that he will be able to maintain the tempo now, because feedback coming from all this, most especially the G20 meeting in India, feedback coming from there is such that we have the potentiality of holding our head high and then just storm ourselves out of the cauldron, out of the woods, out of the hardship that we have here, that we have now. I think it's something that we should be hopeful about. That's what I believe.
Okay, if it is about the hope, let us also be positive as well. But now let's talk about the hope of those seeking, to appeal the judgment given by the tribunal last week. Now, last night, a senior advocate of Nigeria, Robert Clark, is saying that nothing may come out of the appeal of Wednesday's judgment of the presidential election petition court by petitioners who have vowed to approach the Supreme Court. Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, PDP Labour, saying that they will surely go to Supreme Court. Well, you remember how Aregbesola got his mandate back in Osun State. However, same Osun State, Adeleke lost in Osun State, but won outside Osun State.
The Supreme Court.
So let's look at this. Is Robert Clark preempting what will be happening at the Supreme Court? Don't you think this is also like saying that some already know what will surely happen at the end of the day?
Well, law is one of. It's not a forecast. It's not like a football match that you want to predict and say, yes, this club won when they met with this club A, one club B when they met the last time. So the propensity for them to win the game is there. No, it's not like that. As a matter of fact, when you move close to some senior lawyers, they will tell you that whatever case you take to court, however bad you may feel it is, or however good you may think it is, you can never say that this is the way it's going to go until you take it there. Now, it has to get, cases are won in the courtroom, not on social media or on discussion platforms. So, and I think Obi and Peter, and Atiku, both of them have the right to appeal the case. Of course, the Constitution gave them they have the constitutional rights to decide that. Now, let's not. If anybody is saying that nothing can come out of it, that's preemptive. Now, for anybody to say yes, that the case will be that Supreme Court will contradict or set aside the judgment of the tribunal. Well, that person may not really be right because it hasn't gotten there, and nobody can say that it's not going to work too. So it has to get there, and for democracy to really thrive. Now we must allow the test like this. Just for instance, at the tribunal, so many things, so many facts, so many rights, so many laws, so many things, interpretation came during the tribunal sitting. Going by the judgment. As revealed by the judgment, that a lot of lawyers have not even been contemplating. So now they have gotten some facts that yes, if this had to be done this way, this is the way it has to be filed, and things like that. Of course, that is good because that's going to make that's going to make our laws, that's going to make court sittings even more beautiful, and of course without wasting judicial time like they used to say. So I don't want to believe that nothing can come out of the appeal. Now I think we should just allow democracy to thrive. And in allowing democracy to thrive, then the right of everybody, of every citizen, must be respected. So it is their right to say they want to appeal. Yes, let's allow them to appeal. Let's give them the benefit of exercising their right, and then go to the Supreme Court. And we really cannot tell what the outcome of the matter will be at the Supreme Court until the court has sat and then decide to say, okay, this is the way to go. Because all of us, and yes, the elder statesman that said nothing could come out of it had been Adaba, is somebody that understands the law, but he has not been a practicing lawyer for a very long time. A lot of things had come in. Even senior advocates who were part of the matter at the tribunal. Some of them were saying yes. Some of them were amazed. Some of them were surprised. Some of them were taken aback by some of the pronouncement of the tribunal. So meaning that now they are learning some new things. So it's nobody can say. Let's just cross our hearts. Let's just cross our arms and sit and expect what the Supreme Court will say.
Okay.
We cannot preempt.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Comrade Olu Omotosho, for your time all the way from Abuja, joining us virtually this morning.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Okay. I never was greeting you some week.
No, bro, he's doing work here. He's doing his job as usual.
Okay.
So,
all right.
We are coming to town with him.
Okay. All right, Vice. Thank you very much. Welcome, Radio Motosha there. Well, it is a convenient point. We have to wrap up the newspaper segment. That is the newspaper review corner on, from the Daily's corner on AM Updates. Well, coming up right now is a Solutions Clinic with award-winning Victory Richard. I don't know why he likes coming into the studio, with all the swag, but what do you expect from an award-winning presenter? Well, my name is LAFENWA Kunubi.
And my name is Adidamala LAFENWA, wishing you a very wonderful Monday.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tunji Bakari. I've been a medical doctor for over 20 years, and sometimes I have to recommend my patients leave the country to get urgent care. But with 5G, I don't need my patients to spend enormous amounts of money to fly out. I can consult real time with experts all over the world without needing to get a visa. Even monitoring patients with heart conditions or patients that are at risk of other ailments alone at home can be done with the wearable technology 5G facilitates. Even though I'm a doctor, I keep having to convince my patients this is real, not magic.
Bridge the gap with MTN 5G. It offers hyper-fast internet speeds, seamless buffering, and applications that can only be possible via its quality data capabilities. Available on broadband and mobile. MTN, Nigeria's #1 5G network. What are we doing today?
Omo, our eye don't see way for this cash palava. As conductor they shout.
As it enter, so enter with your change.
Market women go dey holla.
I beg, this somebody don't say, I no fit collect now.
Supermarket people go dey tell you say.
Okay, we don't get change. I beg, use and take sweet now.
When you consider better yama roasted fish without the hungry you since in come.
I don't carry my wallet come out too.
See, life not supposed hard like this, so now make all of us for Nigeria they pay for everything with Momo. Dial *671# or download the new Momo app. Make you follow enjoy this better life. Momo, better than cash.
Dynamic Pillars Montessori International Schools, Ibadan. The latest admirable, attractive, and acceptable Montessori schools in Ibadan City with global standard of teaching, unique learning aids, and world-class academic facilities in a serene environment. Wow! Few students in a class with all conveniences, parent and guidance. Dynamic Pillars is the best place where your dearest child can have the best educational legacy. The school has the best set of professional teachers with brilliant and effective educational activities such as Montessori skills, math helping game clinic for vocabulary development, arts, crafts and design, diction and communication, French, music and game language mechanics, indoor and outdoor games, and lots more. Available classes are crèche, daycare, preschool, after school, primary and secondary school classes from JSS1. Entrance examination on request. Enroll your child now at Dynamic Pillars Montessori International Schools, New Garage Bus Stop, Apata, or First Gate, Owode Estate, Apata, Ibadan. Telephone 080-2342-1126. Dynamic Pillars Schools. Your child deserves the best.
We raise the spotlight on the different headlines of our national dailies.
This government, apart from giving that minimum wage of 30,000, which was a 6% rise.
We bring to you in-depth analysis on the major stories making the rounds.
And the CSOs to INEC account for 400 billion naira spent on general elections.
Interviews with political and government stakeholders.
There was a big push on export. We consume a lot. We need to be an economy, that an export engine, and we need to be a production.
Every weekday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the Remedy Dial, Solutions 93.9 FM. Welcome to From the Dailies with Favor, Dapo, Laffy, and Victory. Let's talk about the state of the nation. Your voice matters.
Ẹ káàárọ̀ nílùú Ìbàdàn. Solutions 93.9 FM.
Come to those where they wait. Bad things run from those where they pray. Ndidi kama, good things come to those where they wait. Bad things run from those where they pray. Why you there in a rush? Be your own, it belong to you. Not be by force, it go come to you. Hey, you feel not get that now, but it go come in June. If you show a little patience.